So I just watched this philosophy professor's YouTube video about how to take lecture notes properly, and I like to summarize whatever he said because it's similar to taking notes, which is basically about summarizing whatever we have heard from our professors. So the first two things, it's mostly not to do's than do's. So I'll talk about it. So first one is don't copy everything. Like don't write everything that is said word to word exactly, because it's very inefficient to copy everything, and you are not learning. You are just copying it. It is a, if you are just there to copy it, just copy it. But mostly we are there to learn, and more than learning, we are just there to know about what to write on exam. And not everything is said on lecture will be is said about our subject topic, right? Therefore, not everything is required to be copied. It's just the most essential one which we are required to know should be paraphrased in our own way so that we understand it, and then we write it. And that's what we should be doing. Okay, we should listen to the things no no we should listen to the concept and ideas that is given, that is talked about by our professors or teachers in the lecture hall about the subject matter, and we should then paraphrase and write it. That's what we should do. And secondly, it comes to second. The second point was don't write half-wordly, or don't write incompletely. I say rather. This just means that whatever is being said during the lecture, there's a tendency to not write it entirely, or it's just writing only partially, right? Partially, and such kind of writing is way worse than not writing at all. It's just that you have only half knowledge, and that's also you don't even know what it is connected to, right? You don't, it's not even, you don't even know what it's connected to, and you are trying to figure it out, and you have to just go back and forth. And those who didn't study would just perform better, in a sense that they would have just look at some materials later on, and they could figure out it easily rather than you. And it's also time wasting, in fact. It's not being efficient, which this video is about, being efficient. So don't try to write partially or incompletely about the paraphrased ideas and concept that you heard about. What you can do about it to solve this issue is to ask your professor to repeat, or teacher to repeat, what was the idea. You should ask about it, otherwise you are not going to understand it. That's just it. You have to ask during the lecture, not after. With not after the lecture you are going to use book. No, 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 no. You have to do it at the moment. Either raise the hand or raise your voice and say your to teacher, please repeat it. That's what you must do. And that's what I've been doing recently too. And yeah, I sort of like it like that. The and then you have to paraphrase and write it. The main thing here is to paraphrase and write it. If you don't understand idea, you have to ask it and then paraphrase and write it. And paraphrasing should be uh, to your understanding of the topic. It shouldn't be out of the topic, right? And it should also not be exactly copying whatever is being said or is in the slides. Maybe there are some things that should be, but I think it's mostly for understanding of our topic, of the subject matter. Like in the law, most of the things is that's written out, I'm just paraphrasing it, right? Business law, I'm paraphrasing it. But there are things like Mulki Civil Code and cases. That's also what I'm paraphrasing about. I'm just paraphrasing it entirely, and that's how I'm learning about law, and it's fun. The third point was to the third point. Uh, Let me give you context before. So, not everything you have paraphrased or understood about can be written directly during the lecture, right? Like professor is talking about it, you are just processing and writing it, but professor immediately jumps on another concept, but and therefore you have to also jump toward understanding that concept, and therefore you write about it, but you happen to leave out whatever you were paraphrasing out beforehand. But this paraphrasing, you don't forget it about it, right? Unless you do it at after 2 or few more days, but in the same day you won't forget about it, right? So you have to come back to your lecture notes and write it down. It's called adding flesh, but I think I like to call it completing the completing the unfinished words, unfinished sentences, because of circumstances. It doesn't sound cool, but it isn't supposed to sound cool. Your idea is the main idea is to write down whatever you understood but couldn't write later on, within 24 hours, or within after the lecture has ended, if possible, which is not possible. Therefore it is within 24 hours for me. I personally would like to do it after college. Let's see if it's possible or not. Let's see. So these are the three main things. And it's entirely about understanding and paraphrasing of the concept and ideas, and making sure that none of it is left over, and making it sure that nothing is copied entirely and understood. It's paraphrased, it is completed, it is understood. That's what it is about entirely. And lastly, not really it's not really to my issue, because I've been writing it. I've been taking my notes, writing it out through pen and paper. Therefore, I'll just say it directly. Just write it in a paper and through pen. That's it. Nothing much. So these are the ways you can. This is the main idea of the philosophy teacher's video idea of how to take notes. It's about understanding it, it's about paraphrasing it, it's about asking if you don't know about it, and lastly completing it at the end of the day, the notes entirely about what you have understood only. Well, yeah,